how good my student is. It has to be challenging but manageable. If I make it too challenging, I'm redlining him. He's going to break. His knee's going to pop. He's going to be unmotivated. If it's too easy, he's going to be bored. I have to find the right amount of stimulus. So when I'm in the practice room, if I see George is just mauling guys and destroying them, I have to scale the workout so that it's harder. But I don't want to scale it so high as that I injure him and break him, or that he made it out of practice by a hair and now he's not motivated to do another camp. You know, we reach those high intensity levels periodically throughout the year, and they have to be done in a certain way that it's fun. Like, you know, George was like, he was on your show and he was saying, I'll try to kill him in the practice room. Now, it's true, he's right. But I do it so rarely. I do it so periodically, and I make it a joke. That's why, like, what he was trying to say is I brought in the guys in the room, and I was watching them spar with George, and they don't want to touch his face. This is when he was like a mega star, like he was the champ, and nobody wants to try to double leg him. Nobody wants to try to hurt him, because they're like, I'm not going to come here in his house and try to show him. There's a respect thing. They're starstruck, you know, these young kids. So I would bring them in, and I'd be like, listen, guys, I'd give a speech. The first guy to double leg him, the first guy to put him out, I would put like a $5,000 reward.
To knock him out?
To hurt. If you knock George out, I'll give you $5,000. If you put George on his back, if you take him down, put him on his back, I'll stop the whole practice and praise you for 20 minutes in front of everybody in the gym. And students don't get praised by me very often. So George would be like, oh my God, these guys, they're coming after me. And he would get riled up. And I would do this periodically, rarely, right? We're talking about world title fight, you know, stuff's on the line. And I need these guys to actually show me where George is missing something. Because when you have this perfect practice and you win all the time, what do you work on? Well, nothing went wrong. There's nothing to fix. So, I mean, there are times where we really redline him.
Have you ever had anybody knock him out in practice and take that money?
Now, he's been dropped once in practice pretty badly. And it's a funny story, but the money wasn't on the line that time. There was no prize for that. One time he got dropped in practice, and I wanted to pull the plug. It was for a world title fight. He was fighting Dan Hardy 2 weeks before his fight. I was sure he was concussed. And I said, George, I'm pulling the round. There was one more round. He said to me, Coach, let me finish the round. I'm okay. Let me finish the next round. And I felt that if I pulled him, I would have killed his confidence.
Right.
I would have killed his confidence totally. So I said, okay, you could do the next round. And I told the other guy he was sparring with, don't land a single glove. Like I whispered it to him. Not a single glove on him. Just take a mauling. And George went in the next round not knowing that the other guy's not allowed to hit him at all. And he just crushes the guy, right? He's just like mauls him and gets that. And I was really, really grateful for the other guy was a pro. And I was very, very grateful that, you know, he took the beating that we asked him to.
Right. And
George after was like, man, I know it went bad in round 4, but round 5 was amazing. I was on fire in round 5. I said, you were. You were.
That's like sneaky shit.
He's like, that was round 4 was not. It was just a fluke, you know. Like this is what I'm gonna look like. Round 5, you know. I'm like, yeah. He's like, and it's a good thing it's Friday, you know, because I have the day off tomorrow. I'm like, George, today's Saturday. He's like, wow. He was shocked, and he was like, today's Saturday. I'm like, yeah, and the UFC was there filming. So I had to like, look, guys, that footage can never air. You know, that footage got to disappear. You know, they're like, yeah, don't worry, you know, we understand the fight's on the line. He was fighting Dan Hardy 2 weeks later. Yeah. That's why that fight, he was doing a lot of wrestling. Because we didn't want to, like, even chance. I was sure he had a concussion when he went in that fight. Wow. Now, pulling the plug on that fight, a lot of people would be like, hey, you put his health on the line. You're right, but it's so much pressure. First of all, George it has nothing to do with UFC. We kept it from UFC. Like, we told the camera guys, bury this. Like, don't report it. Like, George would never want to back out of that fight. It was 2 weeks from now. Everybody's coming to watch this fight. Like, this fight, you know, it's been on what do you call that, prime time? It's been like 3 weeks they're filming, you know, like this is happening. This fight is happening no matter what, you know. The George is in that mindset. And but he went there, honestly, like you know, after he got dropped pretty badly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, you know, Forrest Griffin got knocked out twice before his fight with Anderson Silva. Oh, man. Twice. And apparently one of them was real bad.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So dangerous.
I think he was sparring with Vanderlei. And apparently you don't spar with Vanderlei.
No, huh?
It's just fights. Yeah. I mean, he's old school shoot the box, especially back then.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Forrest won't really talk about it too much because he doesn't want it to be perceived as an excuse. But I mean, how many times have fighters done that? Many fighters have done that.
Countless.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, I just let the fighter decide now, unless I really feel like it's urgent, which is rare that I've actually had to intervene, because at the end of the day, when are you 100%? It really rarely happens. There's always something.
Right. But the thing about getting knocked out is that if you get knocked out 2 weeks ago, your odds of getting knocked out are significantly higher.
I know, man. It's crazy.
And Dan Hardy is a really good striker.
Oh my God, that left hook! If it would have touched George would have been out like a light. He's got a crazy left hook. Plus, George was hurt 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Thank God it worked out well.
Yeah, it worked out great. Yeah, it's the balancing act of being a trainer is not something that I envy.
No, it's tough. It's tough because I care for these guys, honestly.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the business or the money. I couldn't care less. Like, I could not care less. But I know that guy, he's on a one-way track. So if I'm telling him, no, hit the brakes, and he's saying we're going, that break in harmony is going to create a friction and create a doubt in the fighter.
Right.
You know, are you all in? Are you all in? You know, because if you're not all in, you're going to scare your fighter.
Right.
There's that to consider as well.
Yeah.